A leaked draft reveals the United States Supreme Court is considering overturning Roe v. Wade after decades of back and forth with this egregious ruling by the U.S. Supreme Court back in 1973. The possibility of overturning this murder-on-demand law may see its last days as the law of the land.
Without question, Roe v. Wade is one of the most controversial decisions.
It's a case, but it's also a symbol. It's the only Supreme Court case that most Americans can cite by name.
In a landmark ruling, the Supreme Court today legalized abortions.
Roe v. Wade, 411 U.S. 113, 1973, was a landmark decision of the U.S. Supreme Court in which the sitting justices ruled the Constitution of the United States protects a pregnant woman's liberty to choose abortion without excessive government restrictions or interference. This decision struck down many U.S. federal and state abortion laws which placed bans on this medical procedure and made it a legal right. This was back in the 70s, and now fast forward to the 21st century, and the law is under review because of its initial controversial ratification. As the Supreme Court of the United States deliberates the arguments and reviews general constitutional principles as to whether Roe v. Wade should be overturned, a nation begins to take sides in the form of pro-life versus pro-choice. The fate of the unborn's right to life comes into question because in the 70s it was not considered relevant, and under the circumstances the argument is about the right to life, not protecting the rights of promiscuity without consequences. Hey, I call it like I see it. Isn't this what it's all about? Having sex without protection or consideration of the consequences of being promiscuous and the possibility of an unwanted pregnancy? I mean, there is such things as contraceptives, right? Being adults continue with their rampage to have sex without second thoughts, and because the woman is the bearer of the most significant consequence, pregnancy. And the feminist movement presumes the only way out of this circumstance is through abortion, or what they will argue is the empowerment of women. Funny though, most supporters of abortion rights were not aborted. Shame, no? But how did we get to this point in time? Well, understanding how the legalization of abortion gained traction in American culture and the decision-making policy that instituted the right for women to have abortions requires a study in three areas. First, the right to privacy. Second, a constitutional right to abortion, which was argued is protecting women's fundamental rights to make health decisions. However, the decision favored women because the unborn child is not recognized nor perceived to have rights in the Constitution. And thirdly, the protection of women's health rights, or rather, families' reproductive rights, which I should clarify favors women. The last one I find very interesting because if all of this is about family reproductive rights, then why is the woman the primary injured party if Roe v. Wade is overturned? Should not both parents be considered injured parties? Well, that is the irony of this development, isn't it? Or should I say, we all knew all along it wasn't about the family or the unborn children. It was the feminist movement's brilliant lobbying ploy to empower women and create a level playing field in the decision-making world of men, an ideology proposing women were not equal to men.
Jane Roe was a woman in Texas who was pregnant and didn't want to have her baby, but Texas had perhaps the strictest, harshest anti-abortion law in the country, so even if you were a documented victim of rape or incest, you still were not allowed to have an abortion.
It had the perfect state of facts, even though we now know they were a lie. They claimed that Norma McCorvey was raped. That was not the case.
It's a betrayal. All I'm doing is watching out for Norma's ass.